Simmer your pork belly skin side down for 2 minutes. The next step is take some toothpicks, hold them together, and you're going to stab across the entire surface of your pork skin. Do it as close together as possible, and you see the wetness, the moisture on the sticks. That's about how close you want to be. The next step is to liberally salt the entire belly. You can see I have the fat cap salted liberally as well. Now we got that last side, and just make sure that you get that all rubbed in. The next step is you want to take some foil and you want to make a boat to put your pork belly in, and you want to have it so just that fat layer is above the edge of the foil, and just fold it around like so. Now we're going to go ahead, we're going to put this in the refrigerator, and we're going to let it dry brine for 12 hours. All right, so here is my pork belly after it has been sitting in the refrigerator for, this has been in there for about 13 hours. The salt has dried it out real nice, pulled out some of that moisture, and also that salt will season all the way through the meat. Now we're just going to get it in the oven, and we're going to bake it at 340 degrees for about an hour. All right, folks, so here is what we've got right now at the first bake for 50 minutes at the 340 degrees. You can tell that it's got a nice rendering going on the top. It's starting to brown but not crackle. I didn't seal this up here very good, so I'm starting to lose some of my drippings. Hopefully not too much. You can see that's getting a nice cook all the way through. So right now I am getting my oven a little bit hotter. I'm going to go for 375, and then I'm just going to take it in kind of like 10-minute increments and work on getting that crust crispy. Because right now it's just getting brown, but we want to get that crackling going. I'll check back in with you later. All right, folks, so here's the finished product. It's not quite as crispy as I was hoping it was going to be. I followed some other dudes' ideas. I'm going to let it cool a little bit and see if that crisp comes up. I don't know. It's a little crispy. I mean, it looks delicious, and I'm sure it's going to taste phenomenal. So I'll be back shortly after this has had a chance to set up a little bit, and we'll slice it and give it a taste. So before we get to the slicing and the tasting, I do want to show you one thing. Now this is what's left of that rendered fat, and it's really important to get a better crimp on these corners, because you can see all that nice fond. I mean, and it's in the pan, which is not where I wanted it to be. Plus, when I opened the oven, it did set the smoke alarm off. Even though this isn't burnt, my smoke alarm wasn't too happy with it. And I'll show you another thing too. Hold on. It did a number on my oven door, if you can see all that pork splatter. So I get a good oven cleaning later on. But I digress, and we will be back in a little bit with that slicing and tasting. So this is just a little look at how much pork fat rendered out of this slab of pork belly. I did dump out what was the contents of the foil packet along with the remaining drippings that were on the cookie sheet. Alright, so here's a look at the meat itself. Still haven't sliced it, but you can tell it's got a nice cook all the way through. Let's give it a little squish. It's still pretty hot and still nice and juicy. So let's slice this bad boy up and have a taste. Alright, so I got a few pieces sliced up. It cut very nice and tender. I'm a little disappointed. It doesn't have that crackle that I saw in this other person's video. So I missed something, or his description, his video wasn't quite accurate. I'm not sure. I think maybe when he cooked it fat side down, he might have done it a little longer, or possibly he had a skin on pork belly where this is skinned. So let's take a bite here and see how the flavor is. Alright folks, so this is my verdict. Even though I don't have that crispy crackling on the top, the flavor is absolutely divine. So like I showed in the beginning, we did simmered it in water upside down for about 2 minutes. Poked that top with the toothpicks. I baked it for 50 minutes at 340. Then I did end up doing 40 minutes at 375, and I did do 5 minutes at a high broil to try and get that crackling. And it didn't crackle. It got a little bit darker, but you know what? This is really good. That salt penetrated all the way through. It's got a nice tender chew, a nice porky flavor, just the right amount of salt for my liking. I used about a tablespoon and a half of pink Himalayan salt. So there you have it. My version of a nice pork belly. And thanks you guys for stopping in. I appreciate the time you have taken to watch my video, and thanks for sharing.